Life was pretty bad before coming in here. I'd had on and off stints being homeless. I'd kind of just gotten food from homeless shelters, and I'd sort of lived in car parks, drank myself to sleep most nights. Had on and off periods of sobriety. I was in church the whole time. I had good people around me, but as far as I'm aware, most of those people had no idea what was really going on in my life. Things were just, I think I literally just didn't believe that I was ever gonna make it out of the hole that I was in. My mental health was deteriorating. I had chronic anxiety. I was back and forth between my family's place and Sydney, and couldn't seem to keep it together. Just didn't really believe that I was ever going to make it out of where I was at that time, and I kind of just didn't have any. There was no real hope for me. It was Christmas, 2016, and Christmas Eve. Everyone I knew was away. I was just alone on Christmas Eve, and I'd broken my phone being drunk some night, didn't have any money in the bank, couldn't contact anyone, was completely alone on Christmas Eve, and just sat on a park bench in Bondi Junction with a bag of wine, and just listening to families play in the park that I was in, and listening to Christmas carols, and knowing that I was completely and utterly alone, and that was because of the choices that I made in my life. It was almost too much to kind of handle, and I think I sort of resolved that I'm going to do something about this. I didn't know what. I called a few of my friends. They sort of arranged amongst themselves, actually, that they were going to sit me down and talk with me. They staged a bit of an intervention in our living room and recommended this place. And I was in pretty much within a couple of weeks of that. It reminded me a lot of the Australian horror movie Wolf Creek, and any Australian horror movie, to be honest. Long dirt track. I had no reception. Reception just dropped out halfway. Had no idea how long this thing was going to go for or where it was really taking me. And yeah, to be honest, it was pretty unnerving. And by the time we got to the end of the driveway, it sort of opens out onto the grassed area, and the place is really nice. It's really beautiful. I thought, well, my friend actually said to me, "Man, you're lucky. This place is going to be all right. I think I'd like to stay here." So look, it is really beautiful. The guys were super welcoming. Everybody sort of shook my hand, and I felt like this is a place that I need to be in. And yeah, my impressions were pretty positive coming in. Look, having your freedom taken away just plain sucks. But it's all part of the process, and it's completely understandable. But honestly, not being able to make your own decisions in terms of how you best feel you would like to live your life for a period of 12 months is really difficult. So at every point in this place, I felt like my freedoms have been roadblocked. And much of it is completely necessary, but that doesn't make it that any easier at all. So I would say, yeah, look, there have been emotional challenges, but the big one is personal freedom that you have to sacrifice. There's been heaps of sort of big highlights in terms of events that we've gotten to go to. So Hillsong Conference was a really amazing event. It was really challenging for me. Because a lot of the people that were behind the scenes in conference I knew, and they didn't know that I was in rehab, and it was a pretty tough, really confronting time, but it was an exhilarating time. It was amazing. Had a lot of fun with the guys. Summer camps, amazing again. But if I'm honest, probably my biggest highlights have been the times here when a student has done something that's absolutely hilarious, and I think I've laughed for 5 or 10 minutes. Or playing cards with the boys in the dorms and just losing it. Just the absolutely hilarious times that 180 brings without even trying. Those have been my biggest highlights. Joel the Hammer Hammond. Yeah, that guy's a massive inspiration to me. He's a brilliant leader, genuinely caring person, and the absolute golden child of TC. He's been my bestie while I've been here, and yeah, fantastic guy, gonna miss him. Probably in practical terms and in a way that shaped my life, my caseworker, Trizzy, has been far and above the biggest inspiration. The moment I got here, he sat me down and said, look, I'm not going to tell you how to do your journey, what that's going to look like. It looks like you're set on a path, and I just want to empower you to get where it is that you want to go. And from the get-go, treated me like an adult, treated me like an equal, like a partner, somebody that he was just here to facilitate and help along on my journey. And I never felt talked down to. I always felt like I was talking to a friend. And yeah, he's just a fantastic guy. So definitely those guys. Yeah, I think it's probably just that phrase, don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. I think in a place like this, for 12 months that you spend in here, it's really easy to lose sight of the big picture and get caught up in what's right in front of you. And what's right in front of you might be a month, it might be a week, just the day, the moment you're in, the frustrations, the freedom being taken away from you, all of the things that you can't do, I think can become your sole focus. And that can become your world and reality, rather than zooming out and having a look at the big picture of your life, which is that you were an absolute wreck when you came into this place and no hope in your life. And you get about halfway through and it's like your lungs are filled with oxygen again. You have hope, you have a bounce in your step. Your life is turning around. The rest of your life will be different because of this time. And I think in the moments, in the little moments, we just forget, we just lose sight of the fact that my whole life is going to be different coming out of this place. So my encouragement would be, if you're in a situation like that, or a week or a month like that, to get away, get alone, to zoom the focus of the lens out of that little situation and remind yourself of the bigger story that is your life. That your life is changing in this place.